is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. I was not going to make a video out of this little ride that I'm going on, but I figured there's actually something I want to talk to you guys about and ask for your opinion. What do you guys think I should be doing? If you guys didn't notice, I'm on my Aprilia. It was a last minute decision. I was actually going to ride the Fireblade, but I'm not going on a ride. I'm actually going to work out, go to the gym, work out with a friend of mine. But it's a beautiful day out today, so I was like, I don't want to drive. I want to ride one of the bikes that I haven't ridden in a while, which are the Aprilia and the Fireblade. Obviously the KTM too, but as I said, the KTM isn't really my style necessarily. I don't want to really take that bike to the gym or stuff like that. It's kind of, I don't know, it's fun if I'm like out with other friends that are riding naked bikes and stuff like that. Then I would like to take that because it kind of like matches and it's, I don't know, cool in that setting, I guess. But I wanted to make a video asking you guys about, what do you think about a track bike? I've been thinking a lot about a track bike, and also there's another event that I might be going to, which is a half-a-mile event. If you guys don't know what a half-a-mile event, that's pretty much like it sounds. It's a half-a-mile race. You get to take your fast vehicles. Obviously, I would most likely take the H2R. Maybe I'll install the fans before that. What do you guys think? Like maybe try the top speed run over there. I don't think that's enough room, to be honest, half a mile. Because you start from a really low speed, so I don't think half a mile will be enough to like top speed the H2R. By then I will have my extra mods and stuff like that too, so the bike should reach like crazy high speeds. And I also hit a new top speed by mistake when I was riding it. If you guys haven't watched the video recently, make sure you check it out. This bike needs tire pressure. I did not adjust that, and it's been sitting for a while in the back of the garage. But yeah, I was saying, I just did a little poll after the Cars and Coffee meet, and we hit a new top speed, and unfortunately I wasn't filming because I ended the video literally by mistake. That's how crazy the H2R is. I hit top speeds by mistake, like unintentional, because it gets there so fast. Maybe most likely if I do go, I'm gonna take the H2R and possibly one other bike as well, because you know I don't do this stuff often. The issue is that obviously that event is not gonna be anywhere nearby. It's like 3-4 hours away, and I would probably get a cabin the day before so I can spend the night there because it's somewhat early. And the main issue is that I don't really have any transportation, which can be sorted out, but obviously that is going to be very risky and stressful, especially because I'm taking not only the H2R but also possibly another bike of mine. But that's something I kind of wanted to just talk to you guys about and ask you, what do you think? Should I full send it on that event? I really want to go, and I'm most likely going to. But I'm always hesitant about stuff like this because there's a lot of things that can go wrong. But I think it'll be really fun. It's kind of like a top speed version of going to the track. You know what I mean? Like you can ride the canyons and all that, but it's still stressful because there's still like cops and the roads are not clean and it's more risk and stuff like that. So going to the track is awesome, which is actually was supposed to be the topic of today's video, but I got sidetracked. But yeah, we'll continue the main topic, which is actually about my track bike. And pretty much I'm debating making the Aprilia my track bike. It's not a sure thing, or at least one of my bikes, the bikes I don't use as much. Instead of selling it, making it like my full track bike, dedicated track bike. Yeah, I guess do more track sessions, stuff like that. But we'll continue talking about that after I ride out of here. Then let the bike warm up. Now we're gonna get some protein, get some food in. But yeah, let me talk to you guys a little bit about the plan. So I was thinking of maybe possibly making the Aprilia my track bike. It would make sense a little bit. Obviously, like, it's still an amazing track bike, a lot of horsepower. I wouldn't say it's my favorite when it comes to the feel. The issue with it is that, there's two issues with that, is that I'm not the most comfortable on this. Like, I'd rather have other bikes that I feel like more confident with on the track, I guess. And the other issue is that it's an Aprilia, it's an Italian brand. So first of all, it's not as reliable. I've heard, at least, you know, like obviously any Italian bike is not going to be as reliable as like the Japanese bikes. That's kind of a given. I would want to make it my track bike because I do like this bike and I do want to keep it, but also at the same time, I don't think it would be the best track bike for me personally. If something went south, then it would be harder to fix and maintain. It's hard to think. I'm sorry, my brain is like frozen. It's so cold. Not layered up enough for this. It was nicer when we first left. That Aprilia would be a great track bike. because I want to keep the bike, and it's still like a great, I feel like this bike was made to be a track bike, but honestly, personally, I would rather have a Japanese bike as my track bike. I think an R1 or maybe another R1M would be really cool to have as a track bike, and then possibly change the fairings on the R1M, let's say, and do full race fairings. I think that would be really cool, but also at the same time that means that I have to get me another track bike and all of that, and since I don't ride this bike as much, I feel like that's a pretty decent option for it, to make it a track bike and just get full track fairings and stuff like that for it. But I'm conflicted, and I wanted to ask you guys because the bike does look clean, you know what I mean? Like, I did work for it to make it look pretty clean, very like minimal, like it's almost like brand new. The thing barely has over 2,000 miles, which is crazy because it was the fourth bike that I got. I got it before my M1000RR. My M1000RR has more miles than this thing. I definitely don't ride this thing enough just because I feel like I don't have a purpose for it. So I feel like if I make it my dedicated track bike, I'll have more of a purpose for it. I think the Fireblade would probably be a better track bike, but that bike is probably more exclusive. So like if something went south, I think it'll be even harder to find parts for it over the Aprilia. Plus that bike is also more expensive by about $5,000, which isn't like the biggest issue, I think it's a better bike overall, especially for the track. But I think that bike is also like a nice showpiece, and it is limited, so it's more rare than this one. So I feel like all that bike is missing is some carbon fiber touches, and I think that bike will be really, really pretty, and I can take it to events, and it's loud, and it's unique. It's more unique, I think, than the Aprilia, because that Fireblade, like, there's no other bike that looks like it. This, at the end of the day, the factory looks a bit similar. I mean, it's pretty much the same thing as the regular RSV4s, they just added some wings pretty much, and obviously the main thing is the extra cc's in the engine. So that's why I'm a little conflicted. I think this is the only bike that would make sense for me to my track bike if I wanted to do that. I could also do the R1M. I have the most track experience on my R1M since I've been to a couple different tracks on my R1M. I honestly love that bike on the track, so definitely I feel like the R1 would be a better option, but that bike is kind of sentimental to me, and I do like it. So I don't know if I want to make that my track bike and potentially damage it. I feel like I care about it a little bit more than the Aprilia, but it also would be a better track bike. So I kind of just wanted to get you guys' opinion. What do you guys think about doing the Aprilia as my full track bike? I think it's definitely a good idea, and it kind of gives purpose for the Aprilia. The Super Duke, the plan for it is to possibly do the exhaust delete. I might do the tech pack and all of that, and I'll see if I like it or not, and then we'll decide its fate at that time. But I also think for the most part that it's still not my style. As I said, like, I got that bike mainly because of you guys, and it's not performing as well on the channel, so I don't think the Super Duke is gonna last in the garage that long, so I might be getting something more unique. But yeah, let's just keep this video about the Aprilia. Let me know if you guys think I should make my Aprilia my track bike or not. So yeah, I just wanted to make this extra little video. It's more of a question of what do you guys think I should be doing. The two bikes I don't really have as much of a purpose for. Most of these bikes, I feel like the H2 and the R1M are kind of like the staple. That's what I started with, and I love these iconic, super hyper bikes. We have the V4R, which is my expensive showpiece baby. The Speed Demon, the H2R. The rest is just pretty much the nicest naked bike ever. Super Duke would be a hooligan bike. Let's say if I wanted to get into wheelies, doing stunts, drifting, that would be the bike for it. But that's such a different audience, and it's such a learning curve because obviously, like, this is not what I do. It definitely would be fun if I did all that, but also would be risky because of legal reasons. It's a risk over there, and it's a learning curve. It's a lot of work, and I don't know if that content would do well or not. And it's not necessarily my style. I like more of the exotic bikes and stuff like that. The M1000 is just, an absolute beauty and one of the best dailies. This is such an underrated bike. Unique, showpiece, awesome. But as I said, the Super Duke, not necessarily my style. And the Aprilia, there's nothing really, it sounds amazing. I got it mainly because of the sound, but honestly I think the R1M sounds pretty similar, but the R1M has better electronics and is more sentimental to me, and it's also more reliable. So that's why it's like, if it wasn't for the R1M, I'd love this because of the sound, but because the R1M exists, I feel like it's hard to find a purpose for the Aprilia, and that's why I'm like, if I make it my track bike, I think it might be a really good idea. I wanted to ask you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please drop a like, subscribe. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out and ride safe.